Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and I want to go ahead and shout out Quentin Durrell. Quentin sent me this crazy story, and it's coming out of ignorant-ass Chirac, Illinois. So what happened is that there's this young man named Qawmane Wilson, and Qawmane is 24 years old, and he was just indicted yesterday in the murder of his mother. His mother's name was Yolanda Holmes, and she was a very popular beautician. She did a lot for her community. She did a lot of back-to-school drives. She helped out her family. And she basically spoiled this kid and gave him anything that he wanted in life. So what does Qawmane do to the woman who birthed him and gave him life? He decides with two of his friends to plot her death. What happened is that Yolanda basically had $90,000 in her bank account. She had $90,000 from her money from the salon and doing hair and stuff like that. And then she also had 2 life insurance policies worth over $100,000. Now, most parents from the inner city, most minority parents, a lot of times when they pass away, a lot of times they don't have insurance. They're not leaving you with nothing. This woman was very responsible. Not only did she have money on deck to take care of herself and her son, she also, had a life insurance policy. In the event something happened to her, her son would be covered. So instead of him waiting for something to naturally happen to his mother, Quamaine decides to take matters into his own hands. He called his mother that night of September 2nd at 4:15 in the morning, and basically she came to the door. He wasn't there, but it had to have been somebody that she knew, and she was literally shot and stabbed to death. Her boyfriend was there as well. A lot of folks were throwing shade at him. They thought that he might have had something to do with the murder. But other folks online, since this murder had happened, had always suspected the son. And as I was investigating this story, I was seeing a lot of information on the blogs, a lot of information online for the past year where folks have, where folks had suspicion of the son, because they're saying that after he had all this money, all he did was floss. He never put up a reward. I'm going to go ahead and post you guys some of these comments so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So a lot of suspicion was going towards this boy and towards members of the family. A lot of her co-workers, a lot of people who were really close with Yolanda felt like this was an inside job. From everything I saw, looking at her Facebook page, I've seen nothing but just kind words spoken about this woman. I've seen nobody trash her. I haven't seen anybody say anything bad about this woman. She was really one of those people who went out her way to help others and to better her community. She ran all types of toy drives, back to school drives, and basically anything her son wanted, he could have had. So this is just plain greed, plain and simple. What really bothers me with this story is that when Quentin emailed me, I could tell that, as a young man, especially living in Chicago, because he said Qawmane was pretty popular. He ran his own YouTube page. He did this, scripted series called Nick Stories in Chicago, so a lot of folks knew him from that. Quentin said in that email that he was always looking at Qawmane, and he never understood where Qawmane got all this money from, and that a lot of people, a lot of kids idolized him. A lot of folks wanted to be like Qawmane. Every picture, he has money, he's fresh to death, his hair's done, and he said he just kept wondering, how did he get all this money? So when I went out to Qawmane's Instagram page, his Facebook page, and his Twitter, I was literally shocked. This boy was literally living the lifestyle of a rapper, of a millionaire. And what saddened me more is, as I was going through his Facebook page, if you look at the dates, his mother died, I believe, September 4th, 2012. Less than 2-3 weeks later, he's on Facebook flossing money. He has bricks of money to his face, like it's a cell phone. That's the new style that all the hood boogers do. They'll get a bunch of cash instead of putting it in the bank and, walk around with plastic like most folks. They just want a whole bunch of cash. They want a bunch of 20s and 100s so they can floss and make other people jealous. He's literally sitting down with money on his lap, money to his face, flossing, less than 2-3 weeks after his mother died. Not one time did I see a post about the mother. Not one time did I see a RIP or I miss my mom. I mean, the whole thing is just crazy. Folks were even saying online that the boy just seemed possessed. Like, to look at him, you could tell he done sold his soul. There's a lot of things wrong with him at the funeral. He wasn't even crying. He was trying to get other people to stop crying. So it was just a matter of time that this kid got caught. And I thank God that he was caught. And I feel bad for the family, because so many people love this woman. And a lot of folks were really, really trying to find her killer. And then to find out that it was her own son who did her in is just despicable. It's just despicable that a kid whose mother would have gave him the world decided to take her life because what she was doing for him wasn't good enough. You know, that's why I just say sometimes as parents it's hard, because a lot of times we want to spoil our kids and look out for our kids, because a lot of times as we grew up we didn't have anything. But there has to be a fine balance. You can't spoil your kids to death. You can't give your kids any and everything that they want, because then they don't know the gratification of working. They don't know the gratification of getting a job and, you know, being able to provide for themselves. There's a gratification that comes in working hard, knowing that you busted your ass for your money, and then going out and buying the things that you want. There's no gratification in somebody just handing you money. There's no gratification in somebody just spoiling you. And that's why when the mother wasn't spoiling him enough like he wanted, he had no qualms about killing her. This kid is not only a psychopath, but as fruity as his pictures look, he's going to have a real good time in prison. I just find this whole situation just disgusting. Around the Christmas holidays, to know that a young man is guilty of taking the woman's life who birthed him is just sad. I mean, I couldn't do nothing when I was sent this story, and I was like, you know, following up on the story and like investigating and digging, but cry. There's even a really crazy video that he put on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys this video now. I have to silence it because there's music playing in there. But basically he's saying that he's going to go meet up with his fans, and he's literally just throwing money in the air.
20,000, man. Just to show people, you feel me? I'm on a whole different level with this, man. I ain't, you know, I take this serious, man. So you can't put me in the same category as the others. This new money starting to look like my foreign money. Fuck. Yeah, I'm that nigga. Free dance.
This is blood money. This is money that he killed his mother for, and he's literally just throwing it in the air to all these kids. So many girls on his profile wanted his baby and thought he was fine and wanted to be on his team. So many young guys were looking up to this kid, and to know that the way that he got his money, the way that he was able to fund all his clothing, his shoes, his hair, his cars, was all from blood money is just sickening to me. You know, like they say, money is the root of all evil. A lot of folks like to say that, but I don't think it's money, because at the end of the day, it's the value that you put in the money. There's no difference between a dollar bill, an American dollar bill, and monopoly money. The only difference is the belief that we hold in that money. So it's not money that's physically the root of all evil. It's what folks will do for that money that's the root of all evil. And this story is not only disgusting, I hope this boy gets life in prison. You know, for this woman, like I said, I didn't read not one bad thing about her online. And you know, people love to troll online and people go in on the victims. Nobody online had anything bad to say about this woman. So this woman was a genuinely good-spirited person who went out her way to help others, and to know that her own child, at 22 years old when he did this murder, could take her life just to get her life insurance policy. What kind of shit is that? This boy wasn't in the hood. He wasn't in the projects. He wasn't struggling for anything. It was just plain greed and him trying to emulate rappers and him wanting to emulate a hip-hop lifestyle that's nothing but a facade. Half these rappers out here aren't living that trife life. You know, so it's just insane to me. I'm glad he was caught. I hope him and his co-conspirators do life in prison. This story is sickening to me, and it broke my heart to have to really read and investigate this story. So thank you, Quentin, for sending this to me, and I hope this video does you justice, because he really wanted me to do a video on this. He was just really, really disturbed, and it just goes to show you guys that sometimes we look at people who have money and who are flossing, who have cars and who have certain things, and we get envious, or we want to know how they got it, or we want to be just like them. That's why I always say you should never want to be just like anybody, because one, you don't know their struggles that they went through to get to where they're at, and two, you don't know who they had to kill, shoot, or, you know, basically treat like trash to get to where they're at. You never know anybody's backstory, so it makes no sense to be envious of anybody. All you can do is do the right thing and try and make your life as, you know, comfortable as you can make it without having to step on anybody or kill anybody to make your life comfortable. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire disturbing story. All right. Deuces.